I got into chinuch when I was in third grade. No, actually when I was in first grade. How did I get into chinuch when I was in first grade? So, I had a friend named Kaufman. You must be hearing this all over the world. And we were very good friends, and we got into a lot of trouble together. So in first grade, being that he was K and I was W, so he came up to the teacher. He hadn't brought his homework, and the teacher asked him, Yankala, where's your homework? And he said, I remember the way he said it. He said, I promise I did my homework. So she said, so where is it? He said, well, I have a cat, and my cat ate the homework. And she looked at him and said, Yankala Kaufman, I have heard that line so many times. You don't have a cat, and you didn't do your homework. So tomorrow, you're going to bring me your homework on two sides of the page, signed by both your parents. Dun, 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 dun. First grade teacher, scary. He's got this little Wallerstien kid, who's W, who also didn't do his homework. And I got to think fast, because I was going to use that cat line. And it didn't work. Baruch Hashem, I thought real fast. So she called me up. So Wallerstien, where's your homework? I promise I did it. Okay, so where is it? You're not going to believe it. She says, let me hear what you have to say. I have a hamster. And, teacher, you're not going to believe it. I did my homework, and in the middle of the night, when nobody was looking, my homework ate the hamster. She actually laughed. But I was so good at it that I said, and I could prove it. She said, you can prove it? I said, yes, Baruch Hashem. I already had Siyata D'Shmaya in first grade. I happened to have been late that day, so I had a late note. I said, I even have a late note. She said, so? Why do you think I was late? We had to make a levaya for my hamster. Wallerstien, you're excused. You don't have to do your homework. So in first grade I learned that a good story gets you out of anything. That was my beginning of chinuch. My beginning of telling stories. It got better after that. Can it get better after that? The paper ate the hamster? I don't know, I'm not sure. So in third grade, so I was a little bit out of the box kid, and I used to dream in class a little bit. I guess if I was living today, they would have called me ADD, borderline student. It's a new line. I don't know exactly what they would have called me, but I had a little bit of a problem concentrating. I used to take my sweater, take the lint, and race them, see which piece hits the floor first. I wasn't always like that focused in class. So during recess, I wasn't so focused either. I'm just getting over my emotional thing, and you're laughing at me. You're still laughing at me. You've been laughing at me since third grade. I can't handle this. Come on, I need some support here. I'm kidding. I'm okay. I finished therapy 10 years ago. All right, come on. I'm good. So in third grade, I was also not so focused on recess. So I unfocused went into the woods, because where I was in school was upstate in Muncie, New York, and I went into the woods with, guess who? Mr. Cat, Yankala Kaufman, went into the woods with him during recess at 12 o'clock, and didn't realize what time it was. A little what? What? So, I've been talking for 10 days, I'm just, giddy. I'm sorry. So, we didn't realize what time it was, and about 12:30, I guess the teacher realized, why she didn't realize at 12:15 when recess was over that we weren't there, but I guess she realized at 12:30 that we weren't in the bathroom, that we were missing. So all of a sudden, there were teachers outside screaming, Wallerstien, Kaufman, where are you? And I'm like, uh-oh. We were supposed to be back a long time ago, so we went deeper into the woods. And by 2 o'clock, they had searched everywhere and couldn't find us, so they called the New York State Troopers, who came with helicopters and dogs because 2 Jewish kids, this is 45 years ago, were kidnapped in Muncie. And there's a lot of action going on. And me and Yankala were just, there was a building that we found, and we're just painting along with the little kids, and all of a sudden we hear dogs. And they're barking. And they're German Shepherds. And we're smaller than they are. We're running deeper into the woods. So they finally found us at 4 o'clock. School was over at 4:30. Thank God they didn't call my parents, because they figured, why would they call my parents? If they find me, then they can call and say, your kid ran away from school, don't worry, everything's good, we found him right away. Just 4 hours later, right away. And we're expelling them, because they did a bad thing, and, it's just, nothing happened. So they didn't tell my parents. Thank God. But they would have found me faster than the German Shepherds. But the principal was very, very upset. As you can see, he was losing his school. Kids ran away. Kids got lost. Troopers. Once it was a small town. Oh my God, we destroyed the whole school, whatever it was. So those days, anyone who lived in those days, that's about 22 years BC, before cell phones. A long time. Long time ago. So in those days, getting potched wasn't abuse. Getting potches, you did something wrong, you got one. In fact, if you didn't get potched, man, there's something wrong with you. Like, you're a goody-goody. We don't have anything to do with you. So the abuse was if you didn't get potched. At least that's how we looked at it. So kids got potched. And usually when I'm speaking about women, or what I'm about to tell you, some of them start crying, some of them start getting emotional. When I tell my guys, it's a whole different reaction. You'll see. So the principal was really upset, so he took me to first grade. He said, I want you little boys in first grade never to forget what happens to a kid who runs away from school. Whack! Whack! It was normal, Screwed back my head on, it was fine, And then he took me to second grade, did the same thing. Third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. Why are you laughing? Sixth grade. That's what you usually get from the guys. The women, you start crying usually. I have to talk about Canada when I get back. Let's try to figure this out. All right. Well, you know what? You know hockey, so you're a little tougher than New York girls, whatever. Seventh grade, eighth grade. 16 times he hit me. 16 times. My face was swollen. I was crying. I was this little kid. He beat me. On the way back to the office, because now he's going to expel me, I look up at him with these 2 little innocent green eyes, crying away. Rabbi, why don't you just call an assembly of the whole school and hit me twice? Why'd you have to hit me in every class? Just one big assembly. He looks down and he goes, well, chutzpah! And it hits me again. So the kid that was with me, every time I got hit, he got hit. Like, you say another word, I'm going to hit you. So that was it. All right, but you know what? You took it. You took your hit. And you marched. So the physical pain of getting hit, I got over a long, long time ago. But the emotional pain of standing in front of all these classes of kids and being slapped in public, and the 7th and 8th graders, they actually laughed when I got slapped. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got each one of them killed. They're not around anymore. I tracked them. Don't worry. They're all gone. They'll never laugh again. Ever. But we're on tape. Uh-oh. Those are on unsolved mysteries. Nobody knows who did it. Okay. But the truth is, I never forgot the embarrassment. So going through 8 grades of elementary school, I did what I had to do. But when I got into 10th grade in high school, I started to have my own mind. And I started to think. And I said to myself, this is not, something's wrong here. Rabbi represents Judaism. Judaism represents Torah. The Torah was given by God. I don't want any part of this. I'm out. I'm jumping out. I don't want any part of this. How could you take a 9-year-old kid and do this to him? Like, what? I went into the woods, big deal. I was a little kid. And it started to wake up. I started to wake up. All that stuff was put away in a closet, and the closet was open. And The reason the closet was open because someone else did something to me that embarrassed me very much, and when he embarrassed me very much in 10th grade, that's when the whole thing came all the way back, and I'm like, Dunsky, I'm stepping out. Now, I wasn't very in those days, going off the derech. In fact, you can go off the derech, but you had nowhere to go. So it was like, where are you going? It's not like there was no subculture where you stepped out and there's some 40 girls and boys waiting to take you into their little subculture that they created. You walked out, and you went the hamster and the cat. That's where you are. There was nowhere to go. But that really wouldn't have stopped me. What stopped me, which I'm speaking about a lot to parents. I spent a lot of time in LA speaking to principals and to parents. What really stopped me was my father and my mother. Because even though my father was an American soldier in the Korea War, and he was a tough guy, and we were brought up that you earn respect, and that there's a thing called consequence, he loved us and told his children that the most important thing that ever happened to him in his life were his kids. And we knew that. Every one of his kids knew there wasn't anything more amazing to him in his life. The greatest thing was the Lashon that he used. The greatest thing, he told me, he used to tell me, I prayed to have you for a long time, and you should know, Zacharia, that you are the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And he didn't just say it. He practiced it. He was a traveling salesman. He went from Sunday all the way down the East Coast, from New York to Florida, and then traveled back for 6 days. In those days, there was no restaurants. There was nothing. He slept at Holiday Inns. His food was a rokeach, or whatever the company was, can of pea soup, split pea soup. He had nothing but matzah and that. That's all he lived on. There was nothing kosher. And that was he sold store fixtures, and that was his life when I was a kid. And he worked very, very hard. And he got home Friday. He left Sunday. Got home Friday at like 12, 1 o'clock. I got out of school at 2. Every single Friday I got off that bus, he was standing on the porch with a football. Let's go in the back and play. So I knew that I was the greatest thing that ever happened to him, and my brother and my sister. And we knew that all our lives. Friends were not important. Money was not important. At the end of the day, my kids are the greatest thing that ever happened to me. That's how I was brought up. And having that, even though I took that beating and all that emotional stuff, but at the end of the day, so the decision came down that that guy was crazy, what he did to me. He was crazy, so I'm going to walk out of the religion because some guy was crazy. At the end of the day, my father thinks I'm the greatest thing that ever happened. If I step out, maybe I'm not the greatest thing that ever happened to him. I'm going to embarrass him. I can't do that to someone who thinks I'm the greatest thing that ever happened. So I tell parents, it's so easy. It's so easy. All you need to do is tell your kids and show them. Just want you to know you're the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Because when a kid knows that, they are bulletproof. No teacher, no friend, nobody in this world can hurt them. Because when you walk around with that badge, my parents, my tati, my mommy think I'm the greatest thing that ever happened to them, you really don't care what anyone else thinks. What a badge. And if you're not lucky enough to have that, you need to have someone in this world that thinks you're the greatest thing that ever happened. I have 30 girls in my high school that haven't been in school for years because they were thrown out and they're on the street. They slept in Dunkin' Donuts. They've gone through every abuse, things that you can't even come up with in your mind as fiction. But every one of the girls in my school know that to me, they're the greatest thing that ever happened that they're in my school. You need to know that. I always tell it to them. I'm saying, like, I wouldn't trade you for 100 perfect students. You are the greatest thing. And we graduated 12 girls who didn't even want to hear about God or Judaism or anything last year. And every single one of them is, well, actually 11 of them are in seminary in Israel. They are, actually we have, since we started, 3 girls that are married. We're in Sheitloch. If you know that someone thinks you're the greatest thing, nobody can stop you. So in all the parenting, books and tapes and psychology of how a parent should treat a child, and you get the tapes and the books and alamisis and everything. If you just tell them and show them they're the greatest thing that ever existed, take the books, take it all, put it in a bag and stick it in the closet because you don't need it. So all the girls that are sitting here that are not married, Ezrat Hashem, when you are and you have children, you make sure that those kids know that they are the greatest thing that ever happened, and they need to know that from the minute they understand language. When you put them to bed, you tell them, I want you to know, no matter what mommy does, no matter how busy I am, no matter what, I'm thinking about you all day. I'm worried about you all day. You know why? You know why? Not because I'm your mother. You're the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Wow! You worry about the kid's going to go off the derech? No way! The kid's going to be standing right here, helping other kids. It's so simple. But you have to have time. And you have to have patience. And you got to get off the cell phone once in a while. Because the cell phone is dead. But your children is eternity. Rav Shimshon Pincus, who sort of my Rebbe, even though I never met him, but I listened to every one of his tapes, he said something fascinating. He said, what's a child? A child is you walking the world outside of you. Because a child is father and mother, and the partners in the child, Hashem brings the soul. But the child is split into three. Mother, father, God. Which means that when you have a child, that child is you. Not only is it you, but it's you and your husband together, walking the world outside of you and your husband. Phenomenal. And even after you leave the world, you and your husband are together forever through that child. And that child's going to have another child in all those generations, so you could be gone from this world for 800 years, and you're still here, and you're still here with your husband. Because your children had children, had children, had children, and you were part of every single one of them. He said that's part of that man is created in the form of God, because we are eternal. On 1 second. My child makes me eternal. And that's me walking the world. And my grandchild is me. I'm 70. But she's 14. And she's 14 and she's me walking the world. I better give her a lot of attention. This is my eternity. No. I'm on the phone. Chani called, Miriam called, this one called, and that. Hello? You know the story with the kid who comes home and tells his dad, for my birthday present, I want to be your cell phone. Oh, you want me to buy you a cell phone? No, I want to be your cell phone. I want to be my cell phone? What are you talking about? Dad, I want you to talk to me as much as you talk onto your cell phone. I want you to listen to me as much as you Dad, the first thing when you wake up in the morning, I want you to look at me like you do your cell phone. And the last thing before you go to sleep at night, I want you to look at me like your cell phone. And how about always making sure that I'm fully charged? And how about a plan with unlimited minutes? That would be nice. Or how about upgrading me every month? Yeah, it's a very sad story. It's very funny, but it's very sad. Because if we realize that our children is the extension of who we are, what are we doing? What are we doing? So kids need to know that. Kids need to know. And that doesn't mean, I'm not one of these rabbis, that when kids does something wrong, you should reward them. I don't come from them. I thought I was a soldier. Forget about it. Marines, you step out of mine, you lose your right leg, you leave it there. You keep going, you hop on your left leg. Step on another mine, you lose your left leg, you leave it there. You roll. If you roll onto a mine, don't worry about it. There's nothing left of you anyway. Those are the Marines. I don't come from a school of coddling at all. Just the opposite. Kids, they don't want to be coddled. They want to be loved when they do the things right. And when you promise them something, make sure it happens. When they do something wrong, you need to tell them. If you don't tell someone he has a broken arm, no, don't worry about it. It's not really broken. Just a little. It's going to be okay. And then 5 years later, the kid comes back like this, and I can't play football, I can't play hockey, I never can't play piano, because you were nice to me. You weren't nice to him. Pop it back into place as much as it hurts. Like bringing a cast. So telling your child that they're the most amazing thing that ever happened to you doesn't mean that when they do something wrong, that there's no consequence. I don't use the word punishment. Punishment is not a word. Consequence. There's a consequence. You come to a store that's closed, it says we close at 10 o'clock, and you show up at 10:30 and you're banging on the door, it's a restaurant. I'm starving, why are you punishing me? You don't even know me, why are you punishing me? They're not punishing you, they don't even know you, they're home. The consequence of showing up at 10:30 when the store closes at 10 o'clock is you're not going to get to eat. The consequence of walking into the street in front of a car at 80 miles an hour is you're gone. The guy is not punishing you, he doesn't even know you. In fact, he's in trouble. So the Torah was very careful not to punish. The Torah tells you, you do this, this is what's going to happen. You do that, this is what's going to happen. You do this, that's what's going to happen. All the consequences are in there. So I don't punish you. People have this problem with kids. Like, you tell your daughter, you got to be home at 11 o'clock. She shows up at 11:15. The doors are locked, the lights are off, the windows are locked, the alarm system's on. She's like, Mommy, let me in. No! You're punished. You're supposed to be at 11. You didn't come at 11. You're punished. The worst thing you could do. Because you never told her before she left what the consequence was. But if you tell your daughter, at 11 o'clock, we're locking the doors and we're putting on the alarm, and she shows up at 11:15, she can't yell at her mother. You showed up at 11:15. You knew the consequence was that at 11:15 the doors are locked. Now you got to find a place to sleep. So when a kid does something wrong and then you come up with the punishment, that's unfair. I didn't know because I'm 2 minutes late. You took my car away, my radio away, my bed away. I got to sleep on the floor. Oh my gosh, you didn't tell me that. That's punishment. That's out of control. But as parents, if you spend time, you explain to them, well, if you're going to do A, this is going to be the consequence. If you're going to do B, this is going to be the consequence. Now it's in your hands. You do whatever you want to do. You want to show up at 11:10, restaurant's closed. Supper's off the table. Supper's on the table till 8 o'clock. You show up at 8:15, supper's off the table. I'm not punishing you. I'm not punishing you. It's off the table. So show up at 7 o'clock. It's a whole different upbringing. It's a whole different life. Then if someone just shows up and you're like, no food for you for 3 weeks. You were late. Hello? Don't you think it's a little severe? No, my mother used to take food for 6 weeks away from me. It's not severe. You should be happy on your mother. And the kid's like, what? Subculture. Help. They serve dinner all night out there. No problem. They serve dinner all night in the street. So that's a very important lesson in chinuch. And I had that when I had to make the biggest decision of my life. Stay in Yiddishkeit or step out. I knew that my father and mother thought it was the greatest thing that happened. I could not step out. But at the same time, I was very not feeling for Yiddishkeit. So I can't tell you exactly the second that it turned, but it turned after 10th grade and I got angry. And I said, I am not going to waste that beating. Took a beating. I'm not going to waste it. I'm going into chinuch. And I'm going to make sure that in my school, not one kid is ever going to be embarrassed. Because I know what it feels like. So at 15 and a half, 16, I joined Jet and Pirche. I went to camp and I wanted to get involved with kids. And I was a drummer and a ball player and the guys liked me and it was amazing. And at 20 years old I got married and I said, okay, half a day I'm going to work and half a day I'm teaching. And if I ever saw a kid get embarrassed, I went crazy. I became assistant principal after 7 years, and then I had power and I told the teachers, if I ever catch you embarrassing a kid in my school, you will not be there another 5 minutes. What does that mean to embarrass them? When you hand back their papers, none of this, the kid who failed, you fold the paper and you give it to him. What do you think? Every other kid gets the paper, it's wide open, and this kid gets a folded paper, everyone's sitting there. Wonder why the teacher is folding this person's paper. He said, everyone knows that that kid failed. You just give him back the paper like you give everyone else. Nobody else needs to know that he failed. And please, they're 7th graders. If it's a 45 or a 55, don't write in big letters, failing. They know. They do math. They know 45. Failing with 3 lines underneath, then they'll get that little X with the line, period, signature. Hello, they'll figure out where their parents should sign. Take it easy. They're kids. I know what it feels like to be emotionally hurt. Relax, everybody. We're not here to hurt kids. Put on the report card with a red circle. Ah, circle it again. Yes. Oh, it's not deep enough. Let's get a magic marker. A red magic marker. And then that beautiful little comment on the back. Write a nice comment, right? Right now he's not doing well, but he's got what it takes. Okay, you get your point across. Sometimes it backfires. You see, you got what it takes. Your teacher said so too. Why aren't you doing it? Write something sweet. Write something nice. They're kids. Hello? They're kids. So I became very sensitive to that because of what happened. So I took that beating and I used it to help others. And that's my subject matter tonight. It's a very important subject matter. Now, I don't want to chas v'shalom hurt anyone that's in the room. I don't know any of your lives whatsoever. So I might say something that might trigger something, but you need to know that I am definitely not saying it for that reason. So it's good that I don't know anyone, because then I wouldn't say some of the things I have to say. So this is better. So this is a very important subject, and I have all kinds of ideas of what I want to speak tonight, and I always, before I walk in, I say, Kosh Baruch Hu, I know what I want to say, but I don't know what they need me to say. So it may come out of my mouth what they need me to say, not what I want to say, because it's not always the same. So far, I haven't said a word about what I wanted to say. I want to talk about Chanuka. I haven't talked about Chanuka. We actually beat the Greeks. Okay. But this is a very important subject. So, I learned that what I went through in 3rd grade, since it was not my choice, it happened. And Baruch Hashem, I had the strength to use it and have been using it. I'm not getting into, because I'm going to start introducing to you what our Nava does, and what my high school does, and what everything does. Then it's going to take 45 minutes. We're just an organization for girls, for women, for any woman, for any girl, religious, not religious, Beis Yaakov, Hasidish. It doesn't make a difference, for any problem that she has, for whatever she needs, whether it's shidduchim, whether she's going through other situations. Our Nava is a place to come and learn, and to come and grow. But what happened underneath it is that it became a very trustworthy place where you could actually talk to Rabbi and to people, to send emails. So now we pretty much deal with everything and anything that has to do with women, of religious, not religious, Sfaradim, Ashkenazim, it makes no difference. Hashem's daughters. That's it. That's what we deal with. God's daughters. Makes no difference. So there's a lot of horror stories I could tell you. You don't need to hear horror stories. It's almost Chanuka, and I'm not here to tell you horror stories. But people are going through a lot of stuff. So, this whole thing was built on what happened to me. Reb Shimshon Pincus says as follows. Everyone thinks that we have choice, right? We walk around, I'm a human being. I have choice. Animals don't have choice, plants don't have choice, rocks don't have choice. But it's amazing, we have choice. And you go to seminary and you go to school and you learn a lot about choice. Actually, we have no choice. What choice do we have? Girl or boy? You're born a girl, you're born a boy. No choice. Jew, not Jew? No choice. Who your parents are? No choice. Who your siblings are? No choice. Pretty much what you look like, the DNA of your parents, how tall you're going to be, how short you're going to be, pretty much no choice. They try growth hormones, they usually don't work. Pretty much no choice. So the big one, right, the big one is who you're going to marry. Sometimes I get these invitations. In Bechiras Liva. You know, I'm getting married with my choice of my heart. No, you're not. 40 days before you come to the world, the Gemara says, there's an announcement in heaven. Pliny ben Pliny, Plinius bas Plinius, they're going to get married together. So God works it out that you think it's the Shatchin and your choice and all that. It's all make-believe. Because actually the Gemara says that it's already chosen. So that one's not your choice either. So what exactly is your choice? Chocolate or vanilla? What is a person's choice in this world? How long you're going to live? Not your choice. On Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, how your year is going to be? It's written, miyichya, right? You're going to live, how you're going to live, money, sickness, health, happiness, who's going to be ragged, everything that's going to happen in the year is written on Rosh Hashanah, right? Signed on Yom Kippur. You can try and get a little bit for Hoshana Rabbah, and finally, to your last chance is coming up, the last day of Chanukah. After that, it's all written. So really, from the last day of Chanukah to Rosh Hashanah, we should just sit and eat ice cream in the corner of the room because everything's written, we have no choice anyway, so whatever's going to happen is going to happen anyway. So what are we wasting our time? That's it. This Hanukkah is like, it's over. Like, hello, whatever's going to happen, happen. If I'm going to make money, I'm going to make money. So I'll just sit there, we'll have ice cream and that's it, and have a good day. So like, what are we so excited about? Choice. Bechira! Big word! Bechira! You don't have Bechira. So Rav Shimshon Pincus said the most amazing thing. What is Bechira? The choice of what do you do with the things that you have no choice. That you're a woman, that you're a Jew, that those are your parents, that those are your siblings, that that's who you're set up to be married to. All the things that are supposed to happen in you. What do you do with them? Do you use them for the good, Bechira Tov Ra? Do you use them for the good? Or do you get depressed and have a nice day? So here I had a choice. Walk out of Yiddishkeit, or make sure, run around the world for the rest of my life, and make sure that kids are treated correctly and they're never embarrassed. And that includes adults. Should never be embarrassed. Because I know what it feels like. Or I could have said, bye-bye. And I have this thought in my mind that if I would have said bye-bye, and I would have ended up marrying a non-Jew, my kids wouldn't have been Jewish, and I wouldn't have ever put on tefillin, and I wouldn't have kept Shabbos, and I would have never done a mitzvah. I'd come up after 120 years, and Bezdin Shalmai was waiting for Wallerstien. Wallerstien. You're born a Jew, you never put on tefillin, you never daven, you never made a bracha, you ate unkosher all the time, your children aren't even Jewish. Wallerstien, you know where you're going? To the rotisserie. I got barbecue chicken. After 5 months, we're going to turn you over. Which is not Judaism at all. I don't know how we tell that to kids. Make Hashem to this big, mean thing. You do that, they're going to burn you, and they're going to burn you again. God forbid, that's not our religion at all. The word Gehenna is never mentioned in the whole Torah. Did you know that? The word Gehenna, never. Torah, Nevi'im, Uksuvim. You'll never see the word Gehenna. The word Sha'ol, Rashi says, it means the grave. Rashi says it also can mean Gehenna. But the Torah itself never says those words, ever. God never says, if you're doing Avera, I'm going to burn you. You can look through Torah Nevi'im Uksuvim. I checked it. Gan Eden? Yeah. Pasha Bereshis, 4 rivers. Go to Gan Eden, there's a Malach, with a turned upside down sword. Gan Eden is all over the place. Gehenna? God doesn't want a relationship that if you do something wrong, I'm going to fry you. That's not our religion. It's so not our religion. But some people are like, if you don't do the right thing, this is one of what's going to happen to you. Chas v'shalom, chas v'shalom. But I'm thinking, like, I get up to heaven and they're like, Wallerstien, you're going to the rotisserie already. I mean, you just did everything wrong that you could. And I'm like, hold on, rabbis. Time out. So there's a Mishnah, I remember learning it in high school before I stepped out, that says that in heaven there's an Ayin Roya, there's a video. And Oizen Shamas is a tape recorder. Before you throw me into the barbecue pit, could you check out September 28th, when I was in 3rd grade at 4:03 p.m. Oh, sure, we'll take a look at the video. And they put on this video, and they're taking me from class to class. Whack! Whack! And those poor rabbis that are watching this in Shemayim, they're like crying. And they're like, ooh, we can't throw Wallerstien into the barbecue pit. Look what happened to him. What do we do with this guy? I mean, look what he went through. Well, we can't send him to Gan Eden. He didn't learn a word. He doesn't even have Jewish children. I mean, what are we doing with him? We're stuck. No, you're not stuck. We're going to put Wallerstien in a room with a movie, with a big fat screen the size of this wall, 1 chair just for him, and he's going to watch what would have happened if he would have stayed in and not walked out of the religion. Aha! Bar Nava, Teres Nava, all the high school kids he helped, his children, his Jewish children, his Jewish grandchildren, his wife, his family, all the mitzvahs that he did, that would have happened. And on that video, imagine, all of you would have been in that video. So they're like fixing up their makeup. Oh, I was in the video. I look good? I'm not sure. Hold on. You would have all been in that video. And, said, and if you would have stayed in the religion, you would have been in Toronto, and you would have been talking to a bunch of women, and I would have seen you on the video. Too late. That would have been my Gehenna. My Gehenna would have been watching my potential not realized, because I let it go. And I would have sat and watched that movie for eternity, over and over and over. Oh my gosh, I could have taken that beating and helped other kids. I could have created so many different things. And instead, I just felt bad for myself and I walked out. And that would have been the greatest Gehenna that could have ever happened to me. Baruch Hashem, it didn't happen. So what a person goes through in life, his choice is what to do with it. To use it to help others, or to give up. This week's Parsha, Yosef Atzadik. Amazing. Amazing what he went through. Talk about abuse. His own brothers took him and threw him into a pit to kill him. That didn't work, then they tried to sell him. Who did they sell him to? The Yishmaelim, to the Midyanim. Ends up by Potiphar, the biggest lowlife on earth. Ends up fighting with Potiphar's wife. Ends up in jail. Ends up finally getting out of jail. Where is he? He's in Mitzrayim. Look what he went through. If you look, I don't have the Chumash in front of me, but if you look at the end of Parashat Vayechi, because his brothers were waiting for him to let the hammer down, to get revenge. And they thought, just like Esav said, I'll wait till my father Yitzchak dies, till I'll take care of Yaakov. They said, Yosef's waiting for Yaakov to die. And the minute Yaakov dies, he's going to take revenge. So if you look at the end of Parashat Vayechi, they say to him, now that our father died, so you're going to kill us all, aren't you? We're willing to be your servants, all of us. We'll be your servants. Just don't hurt us. Look at the Parsha. What does Yosef say? You didn't do nothing to me. You did nothing to me. Hashem knew I had to come to Mitzrayim, and Hashem knew I needed to save the world. I have no hard feelings. I went through what I went through to save the world. I have no hard feelings. So a girl in Onava came up to me. Brooklyn girls, they say what's on their mind. I don't know what's going on in Canada, but Brooklyn girls say what's on their mind. She walks up to me. She says, I have to ask you a question. This share that I'm giving you right now, she heard. She said, so we don't have Bechira. So Hashem sets everything up. I'm like, yeah. So my parents got divorced when I was 5 years old. How come I'm not your daughter? If Hashem set everything up, how come your daughter wasn't my parents' child and had a broken family, and I'm not your daughter? I'm like, whoa. She says, no, answer the question. I said, okay, I'll answer the question. You don't like this answer, but Hashem always says you don't get a test that you can't pass, right? It's like Hashem, keep the test, I don't need to pass, just leave me alone, right? But what does that mean? What does that statement mean? We don't like to hear that statement. I'll tell you what that statement means. So I said to this girl the following story. I said, so you grow up, you get married, you don't give up. Just your parents got divorced when you're 5 years old, but it's not gonna happen to you. You're gonna fix this whole chain. You're gonna fix it, and you work hard, and you go out, and you get married, and you have a family, and you have kids, and you keep telling them they're the greatest thing that ever happened to you, and you keep telling your husband because you mean it, not stamazai. And Baruch Hashem, I know what it means. My father and mother since I'm 5 years old, but now I have a husband, and we have a good relationship, not like my parents. And this is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And you have this fantastic mishpacha. And one day your daughter comes home and says, "Mommy, for Shabbos, I want to bring home a friend, 10th grader. You're the greatest mother in the world." Sure. And the friend comes over, and you have the most amazing Shabbos. And at the end of Shabbos, after Havdalah, your name is now Mrs. Schwartzberg because you got married to Mr. Schwartzberg, and you're standing there after Havdalah, and this girl is packed up, she's got all her luggage, and she wants to say thank you, and she comes over to you. I'm talking to this 19-year-old girl that asked me the question. And she comes over to you, and she says to you, Mrs. Schwartzberg, Brooklyn girls talk like this. Amazing Shabbos. The food was amazing. The kids are amazing. The house is amazing. Your husband, amazing Dvar Torah, amazing Zmiros. Everything's amazing. I wish I could have a home like that one day. But I won't. Now I'm talking to this girl, I'm like, you're a good Jewish mother. You're like, oh, you hit yourself in the mouth. Oh, you can't talk like that. You can't talk like that. Your house is going to be nicer. You're going to have a better night. Don't feel like that. No, God, this is nothing. You can have even better. And the kid's like, no, you don't understand, Mr. Schwartzberg. You don't understand. I'm like, what don't I understand? My parents got divorced 3 years ago. I'm from a broken home. There's no way that I could ever have a house like this. And you're like, Shefula, come here. Your parents got divorced 3 years ago. You were 13 years old. My parents got divorced, I was 5 years old. Oh, you're just telling me that to make me feel good. No way could you have a house like this. Really, ask my daughter if her grandparents are married or divorced. It's true? Yeah, it's true. My mother, parents, they got divorced and she's like, oh my gosh, Mr. Schwartzberg, thank you very much. And she goes dancing out the front door. So I said to her, you're 19 years old. All your suffering since you're 5 is for that moment. Because my daughter cannot help that kid. You can. My daughter has other tests, but Hashem knows that test, she would have been depressed, she wouldn't have made it, and therefore she wouldn't be able to help anyone. She has to deal with the father that's in Toronto for Shabbos. She's got her own tests, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own tests. But Hashem knows, not that you will pass it, it's very important. Hashem doesn't give you a test that you will pass. Hashem gives you a test that you can pass. You have what it takes to pass that test. The Bechira is yours, if you're going to pass. That's up to you. Now, it's very nice for Wallerstien. Where do you get this from? Long holiday, but Esther HaMalka. Esther HaMalka, when her mother was pregnant with her, in the 3rd month, her father died. Can you imagine that, Levaya? Oh my God, how could Hashem do this? The woman's pregnant. How could it be? Right? They must have been really bad-mouthing God. At birth, Esther's mother died. Do you remember that funeral? Oh my goodness, this poor baby! Never know her father, never know her mother. Oh my God, how can Hashem do this? So Mordechai adopted her. Now, when Mordechai tells her to go to the king, Achashverosh, and put her life on the line, he says to her, if you're going to panic at the last minute, and you're not going to go, you're lost, your parents are lost, and maybe for this moment you came to the Malchus. Uncle Mordechai, your niece who has no parents, is going in front of the king and putting her life on the line. I don't know, if I were her uncle, I would say, Shefula, don't worry. We're going to have a whole kiddush. All the girls' schools. We're going to get together and fast and say Tehillim backwards and forwards. And all the yeshivas are going to learn an extra hour. And after we do all that, we're going to send someone to the Kaisel, right, to daven, and then go to the king. No, nothing. Listen to me. If you don't go, you're a loser. And your family's a bunch of losers. And maybe this whole thing, this moment was for this moment, and you're not going. I can't believe this. This makes no sense at all. That's how you talk to someone who's about to give up their life, your niece, who had no parents? Oh, come on. Come on, what kind of uncle is that? I'd get rid of him. So he was saying something much deeper. So the Medrash says that when Haman told Achashverosh he's going to destroy the Klal Yisrael, Achashverosh said, oh no. Paro tried it, got wiped out. Nebuchadnezzar tried it, got wiped out. I got a party here. I'm partying. I got a party for 6 months. We got wine, we got party, we're doing well. What am I starting up with the Jews for? Haman said, no, this time we're going to win. You know who I am? I'm Haman. I come from Esav. You know where Esav comes from? Esav had unbelievable kibbud of aim. 21 years kibbud of aim while Yaakov was gone. Esav had, Yaakov didn't have. I am going to use the malach of Esav, and we are going to destroy the Jews on the schus of kibbud of aim. Achashverosh bought into it and said, okay. Look in the Medrash. The Medrash says in Megillas Esther that the Malach of Esav came in front of Hashem and said, I demand retribution that Esav kept 21 years and Yaakov didn't. I demand a reward. The Jews are assimilating. In the chus of kibbud ve'em, you must destroy the Jews. Hashem said, so, Jewish angel, Michael, anything in the defense? Michael says, yeah, I got someone who did better kibbud ve'em than Esav, and she's a Jew, and she's living now. Who's that? Esther Hamalka. How? She never said a bad word to her parents. Never. No chutzpah, no answering back. She had the perfect kibbud ve'em. Malach of Esav, this is a medrash. Malach of Esav says, wait, that's very nice, but she never did anything right. So Malach Michal said, she never did anything right. By Jews, machshava k'mais. If you want to do something you can't, it's considered like you did it. Her whole life, they showed the video, her whole life from when she was a little baby, she cried and cried and cried that she had no mommy and tati, not because they couldn't come to PTA, because she didn't have kibbud ve'em. She cried all the time, I want to do kibbud ve'em, I don't have parents. And therefore, every day was considered like she kept kibbud ve'em the whole day. She said, my Esther, Michal said, our Esther, she not only did kibbud ve'em the whole day, but she never disturbed her parents. You, Esav, you married Canaanim, you smoke blinded Yitzchak, you see that it bothered Yitzchak, and it bothered Rivka, your kibbud ve'em doesn't touch Esther's. And the Baruch Hu said, no gzera. Klal Yisrael is not going to get wiped out. Now, Mordechai knew this. Mordechai knew that my niece didn't lose her parents, stam. There was a reason. So Mordechai said to Esther, if Hacharesh Tacharishi, Hashem gave you a challenge. You lost both your parents. But everyone who has a challenge has the ability to handle the test. So if you go up and save the Jews, great. But if you don't, at ubeis avich, you and your parents, avadata, it was just a loss that you could have had parents. The whole reason you didn't have parents was to go against this malach. But if you're not going to go to save the Jews, so why do you have to suffer your whole life without parents? You could have had parents. So ad ubeis avich avadet, the whole life that you had till now was lost for nothing. You could have had parents, PTA, going out to eat with them, she do whatever. The whole reason it happened was to save the Jews. If Hacharesh Tacharishi, you're not going to save the Jews, the whole thing is a loss. So whatever a person goes through, this is not a my Dvar Torah, whatever a person goes through is only so they should use it to help others, that's it. So I told this girl, I said, it wasn't your choice, you didn't cause your parents to get divorced, just like it wasn't Esther's choice. But they got divorced. So it's now your choice to make it. If you're going to get depressed and you're going to give up because I'm from a broken home and you're going to walk away, how are you going to help anybody? Just the opposite. Girls are going to look at you and say, see, so what happened to her, it's going to happen to me. Just the opposite. I told her. So you in this whole situation, so what did you have to be born to such a home? You can be born to a regular home. Your koyach is that 10th grader that's going to show up in your house to give her the koyach. I was invited to talk in a drug rehab. I was very excited. Drug rehab? I never did that. There were 3 girls, Jewish girls, and 3 Jewish boys in this rehab. And I'm like, I got stories. I'm going to go in there. I got stories. I mean, I could keep you all night. I'm a storyteller, right? Since 1st grade. I'm a hamster. So I got stories. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to talk them out of drugs. I mean, the first guy that ever talked someone out of drugs. I'm going to talk them out of drugs. I was very excited because I never did this before. So I come to this rehab. I was invited. He's a big speaker. I come to this rehab, it's sort of a lockdown, you know, buzzer, buzzer, buzzer. I come walking in, there's this big Jewish kid there. Hey, you're the rabbi that's giving a class tonight? I'm like, yup. He goes, you're a cool rabbi. I'm like, you've heard my classes? He goes, no. So why am I cool? You don't have a beard. I'm like, not everybody thinks that's so cool. Okay. He's like, the next question blew me away. He's like, when were you born? It's a strange question. I said, 1957. Okay. You're supposed to all say, what? He looks like he was born in 1980. I can't believe it. That's what I got in California. We don't believe you. You shaved close enough. Okay, anyway. 1957, they're figuring it out. They pay for, oh my God, he's 54. I would never guess it. Wow, okay. Right, maybe some of the stuff he said is true. He's an old guy, you know. Maybe, I don't know. So anyway, I'm like, why would he ask me such a question? He's like, So he burnt away some brain cells, so it took him a little bit of time. He says, oh my gosh, you're a teenager in the 70s. That seems to be a big deal. I don't know why, right? You're a teenager in the 70s. Oh man, they had all those drugs, man. You had LSD. Did you do LSD? I'm like, no. And he starts naming off all the 70 drugs, which I'm not going to name off because only us people from the 70s know what I'm talking about. And he's like, well, you did this. And I'm like, no. But this you did, because everybody did it. Come on, you and your buddies, man. I'm like, no. I said I was a hockey player and a basketball player, and therefore I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't do drugs, because I had to be healthy. I was very into sports. My father, my family were very into sports, and that really saved my life pretty much. And I didn't do any of the stuff that the other kids did, whatever it is. And like, this guy's getting really angry. Getting angry. And when I came in, I'm the cool rabbi. Now he's getting angry. You could see it. He's like almost at a boiling point. So I thought it'd be a funny guy. Now none of you in this room are going to understand this, unless you're my age, and don't laugh because then they know how old you are. So I thought I'd be a wise guy. So I said to him, well, I might have done drugs, but I said, but I was going to convert. So he calmed down a little bit. You wouldn't convert? I'm like, yeah. I used to take St. Joseph's aspirin. Young girls have no idea what I'm talking about. But the ones that know what I'm talking about, know what I'm talking about. It's the aspirin, when we were growing up, there was only one aspirin. There's this little pink thing called St. Joseph's. Now, St. Joseph's not a very Jewish name, you understand? So I thought he'd find that funny. He had no idea what I was talking about. So at that point, he turned to me, and he began to curse me out with words I never heard in my life. Well, I heard, but they were never directed at me. And you blanked it. Howdy. You come here to talk to us kids? You don't know our pain. You don't know our addiction. Who the blank you think you are? Some rabbi with a bunch of Jewish stories? Oh my gosh. I said, okay. Don't hit me. Calm down and go home and do a bunch of drugs. I'll be back tomorrow. Get nervous. He didn't think that was funny either. So I went to the administrator and I said, no can do. I'm the wrong one to speak to these kids. I got stories, but I never did drugs. I don't know that addiction. I don't know their pain. I am the wrong guy. He's like, no, Rabbi, we set it up. It took us so long to get you. That kid is angry. That kid is mean. It was a mistake that we sent him to meet you. I was like, no, that kid is real. And he's saying how he really feels. No, he's not angry. He's not mean. And I don't have a right to talk to them. And I'm out of here. And I left. And for me to walk out from a speaking engagement, it's not easy, trust me. And for you to get out of my speaking engagement, it's not easy either. I might be here all night. Anyway, I left. I went home. I felt very inadequate. I felt very bad. I didn't help these kids. But I have a friend that I grew up with. I was this guy, drug addict. He was in a coma 3 times. We called him the chemist. He mixed everything that you can imagine and things that you can't imagine. So I called him up. He happens to be extremely successful, very rich. He was a heroin addict. He beat it, which is very unusual. And he got married. And he has 2 kids. And his whole life is about making money because sort of internally there's not much there, but externally he needs to build himself up from the outside, sort of. And I'm his friend. And whatever we went through, I mean, I was his friend all the time. And when he was going through this, terrible, very unusual in those days, was mamish like doing everything you can imagine. I called him up. I said, I got a place for you to go. I said, there's this rehab with these kids. You got to go help them. All that suffering, I never understood why he's suffering. Like, all that suffering, you have a chance now to use it to help kids. All your suffering. I just want you to go there and speak to them. He goes, I don't talk about this. And it's behind me. And I'm not a speaker. Zach, it's me. You're a speaker. I'm not a speaker. No can do. I'm like, listen to me. There's 6 Jewish kids. You can save them. This guy is dressed to kill every day. His Prada shoes, his Brioni ties, everything's got his beautiful glasses. He's got a Rolex that goes from your hand to the last woman in the back. It's that big. It's like, I am a Rolex, and there's a person in it around the band. Everything is his money, whatever. I'm like, just walk in there. Don't say one word. He's got a big Mercedes. Get it waxed up really good. Make sure the inner of the tires look really, really good. I said, get dressed like you always do. Get that big watch. Make sure it's outside your jacket, you know. Bring a picture of your beautiful wife and your beautiful kids. Just sit down and say, been there, done that. This is what I have. Have a good day. He's like, I really don't want to go back there. I'm like, this is the moment. Hacharesh tacharishi. This is it. This is what Esther went through. All that pain and all that time, all the times I went to visit you in the hospital. This is what it's for. You got to do it. Okay. He did it. He comes to the door, they buzz him in. Not a rabbi, someone coming to talk. Same guy. I guess that was his thing, you know, meeting people at the door. Same guy meets him at the door. Hi, I heard you're not a rabbi. He goes, not even close. That's cool. He says, how old are you? I warned my friend this was coming. He said, he was born the same year. He says, 1957. He goes, radical! You were a teenager in the 70s. Yeah. So what did you do? Where do you want me to start? I did this and this and this. I mixed this and that. I'm like, sugar nut, you told them new stuff? That's why I sent you to rehab to teach the kids new stuff. What are you doing, right? By the time he finished telling this kid what he did, and the godless, that he was in a coma 3 times, I mean, that's like, God, you're God. The guru of drugs has arrived. He actually said that walking down the hall, the guy walked, like by Sefer Torah, backwards. Like he was walking and he was walking. The guru of drugs is here. He runs into the room, screams at the girls, and you're not going to believe who's here! The man! He came straight from heaven! He did almost. And he was supposed to be there for like a half an hour. He was there for 5.5 hours. And they couldn't get enough of him. And 2 of the boys that were there ended up his boys and working for him, and today they're not drug addicts. And I said to him, remember all that suffering and everybody was talking about you and all that stuff? So for this moment, imagine you wouldn't have gone to that rehab. It would have all been wasted. So everything that we go through, no matter what it is, it happens to us, because most of it's not our choice, not by choice. Anything that happens to us, not by choice, because Baruch Hu is doing something, giving us your greatest ability. I always say this: your greatest ability is your disability, because your disability you can use to help others, and it's very, very true. So, Yosef HaTzadik in this week's parasha, that's what happened. He used all the stuff that he went through in life to actually save the world. And to actually tell his brothers that you have nothing to worry about, because you think, he says it in the pasuk, you think you sold me? You didn't sell me. Hashem sold me. And you know why he sold me? That I should come down to Mitzrayim, that I should be able to save the world. That's a very important lesson for every single person, because stuff happens to every single person. Take that stuff and you make sure you're successful, because if you're successful, then every kid and every person that's going through the same thing that you're going through, you can help. I can't, unless I went through it. When someone says I feel your pain, they didn't go through the same thing, it's a bluff. You can't feel someone else's pain unless you went through the same thing. It's impossible. I can understand your pain, I see that you are in pain, but you can't see someone else's pain. So I want to end with a story. A very, very big story, a very important story. And it's really what I've been speaking about a lot. It really was my subject matter tonight. It's where I spoke by Warren, but for some reason Hashem didn't want it to be my subject tonight in this room. So even though I wanted to talk about it, I didn't. I've been going around the whole United States and in Eretz Yisrael and England. And, you know, we're losing a lot of kids, I don't have to tell you. We're losing a lot of kids. Actually, we're losing a lot of adults too. Kids and adults, the core of Klal Yisrael is falling out. And we're trying to be makar of people from outside of Klal Yisrael, bringing them into a core that itself doesn't know what it's doing. So what are we doing? If the core is going to collapse, and the people that we're bringing from the outside is going to collapse, within 50 years the whole thing's going to collapse. So I went to Rav Steinman and I went to Rav Chaim and I talked about this, and they said, Wallerstien, you have to do this, but really we'd like you to stay in Eretz Yisrael. We want you here. So I said to Rav Chaim, please, you're not passing me that, because I'm not ready to move everything to Eretz Yisrael right now, or now and everything else. So I'm not passing you, but you should know that you need to do this here in Eretz Yisrael. What am I doing? So I've been going around to 12th grades, to 8th grade, all over the place, to groups like this, and I've been asking the very big question, and the question is, what is Judaism? What is it? You walk into a store here in Toronto, there's a lady behind the counter, she sees you're Jewish, she says, hi, you're Jewish? And you're like, yeah. And she says, I'm looking for religion. I know you don't convert, but I just want to understand. I'm looking at all the religions. What is Judaism? And what is special about it? Right? Everyone in the room knows the answer to that question for sure. No. If we had time, I'll go through this whole room. Not one of you knows the answer to that question. He came here to insult us. He's from New York. He doesn't understand what's going on. We learn differently. So, I don't want to embarrass anyone in this room. But I have embarrassed many people. Not embarrassed, I've asked the question. I've gone through schools. I'm not going to say which ones. Where the principal's like, my girls know everything. I'm like, I challenge you. If your 12th grade knows the answer to my questions, then on Torah anytime, where I speak all the time, and I have 500,000 hits a year, 500,000 people, I will announce that this school is the best education in the whole, girls' education in the whole world, because they got the answer. You'll announce that? Yes. Okay, I got the challenge. Let's go to the classroom. Of course nobody got the answer. Because nobody in this room knows what Judaism is. Not because I'm smarter than you, because what we taught and what we understand is totally wrong. So, one girl will say, religion, and I'll say, so is a Muslim, so is a Christian, it's a religion, everybody copied us, it's the original. No, Buddhism has nothing to do with us. Just the ism, Judaism and Buddhism, but they didn't copy us. Yeah, the Christians took a lot from us, 100%. We were there first! Oh, so we're walking around. So you know why I keep Shabbos, everyone? Because I was there first. You know why I eat kosher? Because we were there first. I don't think so. And I get all kinds of answers. But most of them, the other religions have too. What is special about Yiddishkeit? About being a Jew? It's a way of life. It's, I don't know, we got 613. One girl said, we have 613 rules. I'm like, I'm out of here. No, I mean laws. I'm like, I'm out of here. Like, I'm this non-Jewish person sitting there trying to figure out religion, and like, Judaism is connecting to God. That's most of the answers I would get in here. Right? Judaism is connecting to God. Christians think Christianity is connecting to God. Muslims think blowing up somebody is connecting to God, right? Everybody has a different thought of how they connect to God, right? So Judaism is just another way of connecting to God. So I'd rather do the seven rule route. If I can connect to God through 7 rules or 613, hey, I did enough in school. Why would I do 613 if I can do 7? So kids have no idea, and parents and adults have no idea what they do, why they're doing what they're doing. And then we have Rabbi Mechanic, who I love, right? And Eshat Torah, who I absolutely love, and they have proofs. And the proofs are amazing. There were 600,000 people at our Sinai. All the other religions, when some guy woke up and said, I had a dream. Right? I'm Muhammad. I had a dream. I'm this guy. I had another dream. I'm a little fat guy that sits on a thing, right? and everybody bows down to me. And I'm like, hey man, if you haven't been on Weight Watchers for 2,000 years, you can't lose that. You can't lose that pot belly. I'm not following you. That whole thing makes no sense to me at all. So what are we? So what's Judaism? Nobody knows. So here we are, everybody going through the motions. Hanukkah's coming, it's great, no? Light a candle, that's Judaism. And you don't even have to get your hands dirty anymore. It's amazing. You walk into the store and they sell greaseless, dripless, oilless, nothingless. Just pop it in and light it. Chas v'shalom, you should get your hands dirty. Sure, that's a big connection. Or how about Pesach? Only Eli Mansour could say this. He's a rabbi for the Syrians. He's like, so what's the difference between a Syrian woman and an Ashkenazi woman when it comes to Pesach? He says they both vacuum clean. The Ashkenazi lady vacuum cleans the house. The Syrian lady, she vacuum cleans the 2 suitcases because they're going to a hotel. I didn't say it. Eli Mansour said it. So Pesach, it's a joke. They like it. They have no problem. So Pesach, all the hotels, they're all full. They're all over the place. They're on Mars. They're opening one on Mars this year. It's amazing. Green matzah. It's going to be amazing. Wherever they're full. So nobody gets their hands dirty in Pesach. In Flatbush, in Borough Park, there's a store called Landau's. Check it out. Erev Pesach. They sell jars of salt water. 99 cents. God forbid you make your own salt water. You don't believe me? I'll bring it up to Toronto. I'll show it to you. Right? So Pesach, you don't have to do anything either. It's like, what yontif? Sukkot. Oh, I remember Sukkot carrying a bamboo on my shoulder. Today, light a sukkah. You push the button. Pop, 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 pop. It's on there. Yontif is amazing. Duncan Hines cheesecake. You don't even have to worry about the cheesecake. Everything. It's fantastic. No, Shabbos is, you call the store, Spanish guy comes, he makes Shabbos. How do you say Shabbos in Spanish? He goes, I know how to say it. I got the flowers, I got the fruit, I got the chont, I got the cocoa, I got everything, I brought everything. What's going on? So that part is not Judaism anymore. Like, what yontif exactly is Judaism? Right? They even sell, I don't know if they do this in Toronto, they sell Erev Tavshilim sets. I'm serious. An egg and a piece of challah and a saran wrap. Why are you laughing? It's so true. You go to Ackles and Flatbush, they sell out. She's laughing. They sell out. You can't take an egg and a piece of challah and put it together. You buy it. Erev Tavshilim set. It's amazing. You don't have to do anything. We have to do absolutely nothing. Think about art school. It's great art school. You know, just read it. I know everything. Some kid came home today. I saw his work, and the Rabbi translated the letters from art scroll straight out. What's the kid? I think a 3rd grader. And Jacob rent his clothing. Now I know rent means he ripped it, but that kid thinks he rented it. I mean, hello? Rebbe, write your own words. Don't copy right out of the art scroll. You rent his clothing. If you look at the puzzle that's translated, it gets worse. I'm like, I hope the kid doesn't know what that word means. Right? So we don't do anything anymore. We're so disconnected. It's amazing. I'm surprised we don't do b'dikas chametz with a flashlight. It's amazing. We're totally disconnected. So Judaism has no more hands-on. There's no more hands-on. And let me tell you what Judaism is and how special it is. And I'll let you go home if you want to. The only religion, we'll call it a religion for this discussion in the world, that everything you do is connected to God. 24/7. Muslims pray 5 times a day. But they don't make a bracha on an apple, or an orange, hamaitzi, benching, on thunder and lightning. When they wake up in the morning, they don't have to wake up a certain way. You don't have to say Modani, wash your hands, go to the bathroom, say Ashiyatza, put your clothing on right hand first, left hand second, your shoes, put your right shoe on first, left shoe second, but you have to tie your left shoe first. If you know that, if you don't know that, that's why most of us don't wear shoes with ties anymore. We figure out which our left foot is and our right foot is. Oh my gosh, I got to do this mitzvah all over again. Everything that you do, your whole life, everything that you do, you're totally connected to Hashem. Even on Shabbos when you sleep, it's a mitzvah, you're connected to Hashem. What you have to do, what you're not allowed to do, and what you have to do, it's all connected. It's not a rule, it's not a law, it's love, it's connection. It's a husband and wife that continuously are looking for ways to connect to each other every second of the day. Oh my gosh. Nobody has that. Not the Christians, not the Muslims, not the Buddhists, nobody. Nobody has it. When you're wearing a suit, you're connected to Hashem because you had to check for Shabbos. Nobody has it. If you dress tznius, and you look in the mirror and you say, I'm dressing like this because of you, Hashem, because that's what you want. So a whole day I'm wearing tzitzis, these, to remind me that there's a Hashem, and you're dressed to take a whole day, not like the rest of the world, to remind you that there's a Hashem. Your wit sits a whole day too. I look how I'm dressed, and I remember that I'm a Jewish girl. A whole day, 24/7, how you eat, how you sleep, how you do anything, how you do business, whether you take interest, you don't take, whatever you do in life, every single thing. You have a child from when you're born, it's a bracha. It's a boy, it's a tevah. It's a girl, it's a shechianu. A person dies, it's a dynamis. From the minute you're born to the second you die, how you die, where you die, how they bury you, where they bury you, everything that goes on, everything is connected to Hashem. So Hashem said, I have one nation, and they're the greatest thing that ever happened to me. The greatest thing that ever happened to me. You know why? Because they connect to me 24/7 in 613 channels. If I offered you Chas v'Shalom, a television that had 7 channels, or a television that had 613, you're buying the one that has 613. Oh my gosh, I have 613 channels. So we should be walking around, oh my gosh, I'm a Jewish girl. I can connect to Hashem in 613 ways. Ha ha, and all of you that aren't Jewish, you only have 7 channels. I got 613, yes! Instead of walking around, oh my gosh, I got another mitzvah. Okay. Oh, so many laws, and so many rules, and it's so expensive. A man that loves his wife doesn't look at the price. He just looks at what he's giving her. He doesn't look at the price. If he has a lot of money. Because Baruch Hu gave us all these mitzvahs because he said, I want to tell you something. You're my children. You, he says it every day. You, the Gemara says every day he says, Shira. You are the greatest things that ever happened to me. And we say, Hashem, no, you are the greatest thing that ever happened to us. And we can do things, we can bite into an apple and connect to you. And we can make an alamicha and connect to you. And we can go to the bathroom and come out and say, Ashiyatzar, and connect to you and thank you that we're able to go to the bathroom. There's nothing that we do that's not connected to Hashem. Ooh, now that's something to get excited about. That's not what we're teaching. That's not what we're teaching our children. We got rules, laws, and you don't do it, shmice! You gotta get one. God's gonna come down and whoo! No, that is not our religion. Just the opposite. It's exciting. Let's put on a Shabbos play Friday night on the Parsha. Bobbies, tell your grandchildren. You're the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I never dreamt in my life when I was 17 years old that I would have a grandchild. All your grandchildren that are having problems in school, sometimes the Bobby and Zadie can save them, not even the parents. My Bobby thinks I'm the greatest thing that ever happened. What does your Bobby think? Don't think it stops 50 children. It never stops. There's a beautiful shot that it was Yaakov's big mistake. But Yeshiv Yaakov this week, all his children were married. Everybody was okay. Yosef was his Talmud Muvok. Life was good. Everything with Binyamin was born. Everything was in shape. He wanted to rest. And the Mepharshim say, you can't just rest when your children are okay. You can't rest till you're not here anymore. You got to take care of your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. Until you're not here anymore, you're not allowed to rest. So it said, Tzaddikim can't rest. So there was no rest for Yaakov. So a grandmother, don't think you're out of the because your kid did all right. You're out of the book. Tell your grandchild. He's the grandchild. I never dreamt of you. This kid's struggling in yeshiva. He doesn't hear one good word from anybody. Everyone's telling him what a failure he is. He has a grandmother that's telling him, you're the greatest thing. I waited for you. You know how many years? Shefala, Yankala. Don't listen to anybody. You're struggling, but you need to know Bobby loves you because you're the greatest thing in the world. And that means Bobby takes him out to eat, and Bobby spends some time with him, not just Bobby loves you. Because those are just words. What a koyach we have. And Hashem says it every day. You're the greatest thing that ever happened. One time he said nah. One time the Medrash says, after we did the Egel, he told Moshe Rabbeinu, I am destroying them. They served an idol. I am destroying them. Moshe Rabbeinu said, before you kill the first wife, you better find the second. It's a Medrash. Hashem said, okay, I'm going to go look. And he went through the world and he checked all the other nations and all the other religions. And God came back and God said, you're right. I'll keep the first one. Because the truth is, at the end of the day, kids off the derech, we're not so good, we got all kinds of problems. What do you want from us? We're 2,000 years in Golos. We haven't seen you in 2,000 years. We don't have a Beis Hamikdash. We only have a few tzaddikim left in our generation. We don't have a Chafetz Chaim. We don't have a Moshe Feinstein. What do you want from us, Hashem? At the end of the day, we are the greatest thing that ever happened to them. There's nothing to talk about. As bad as everyone wants to bash us, as bad as they think we are, heck, go check the other ones out. Don't trade us then. We're the greatest thing that ever happened to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the same token, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the greatest thing that ever happened to us. So I'm on fire for the last couple of weeks. And it's a very sad story. I'm ending with this because all my shiurim are ended with this. And I'm sorry if this hurts anybody. This was L'zech Nishmas a lot of neshamas, but there's one neshama that I would like to bring to the table. And it's a boy named Moshe Matisyahu Ben Chaim. His name is Moshe Juvel, Olav Hashem, who passed away 2.5 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. So about a year ago, I deal with kids and I'm up very late, and I got a phone call from a guy, Eli Rowe, who's a big guy in Hatzalah in Queens, who's involved with Camp Simcha, Chai Lifeline, kids with cancer. He said, "Zach, you up?" I'm like, I answered the phone. I'm up. Now for sure. He says, "It's 2 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, I know that too. He says, "There's a kid up in Muncie. He's just came out of chemo. He's in crazy pain. Come on, hop into the car. We're going to go up there. Tell him some of your funny stories." I'm like, I don't really do this. You know, I'm uncomfortable. I never went to Camp Simcha. I never went to Camp. I don't know if I could do this. I said, Elliot. He said, "Zach, I'm in front of your house." I'm like, I can do this. So I get into the car. We drive up to Muncie. We get there at 3:15. I walk into the room. The lights are off. He says, "Go in yourself. We'll talk to him." Walk into the room. The lights are off. He says, "Don't turn on the light. From the radiation and all the chemo this kid's been taking, he can't. Light affects him very, very much. He's very, very sick." So I walk in, he's laying in his bed, and he's got this little teeny light under the blanket. And I'm like, "Hi, it's Rabbi Wallerstien." His face is to the wall. "Hi, it's Rabbi Wallerstien. Are you Moshe Juvel?" That's just a stupid question. I'm in his room. I'm asking if it's Moshe Juvel. Brilliant. He turns around and goes, "Hi, Rabbi Wallerstien." I'm like, "Moshe, how you doing? I'm here to tell you a funny story." "Sorry, I can't listen to any stories right now." I'm like, it's 3:15. I got out of bed. I got out to see it. I said, "Why not? I got some real good ones." He goes, "I'm in the middle of learning the Seftas Makkos." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." He pulls up the blanket. There's a little teeny light. You know, the little teeny light? And a Gemara. I'm like, "Okay, Moshe, let's learn Gemara. I'll learn with you Gemara." "Really?" So for half an hour we learned the Seftas Makkos. He don't want to hear no stories. He's got to finish Masechtas Makkos. Okay, I became very, very, very friendly with him. I will save you from the details as much as I can. So he's very, very sick. Terminal, weighs 70 pounds. He's 19 years old. It's not a good thing. There's a big side that comes to my house for Shimon Galai. Big, big side from Bnei Brak. I'm thinking, you know what? Let me get Moshe a bracha. I said, "Eli, pick him up in Muncie and bring him to the Rav." He brings him in. He carries him in. What happened was that about 4 months ago, one of the tumors hit his spine, and he lost all feelings below his waist. So he comes to Rabbi Galai's. He carries him in because he can't walk, and he sits him down. Rabbi Galai is a big tzaddik. He sees what's going on. He says, "Moshe, what bracha can I give you?" So Moshe says, he's from Israel. Rabbi Galai doesn't understand English. He says, "I'm terminal. I'm not going to live through this disease. They already were stopping pretty much. There was nothing to help me." He said, "But I'd like to ask the Rav to do me one favor. Could you daven to Hashem that since this happened that I have no feelings, I don't know when I'm going to the bathroom, I'm wearing a diaper, and I know you're not allowed to learn. You're wearing a diaper, so I can't learn. Could you ask Hashem that I'm going to live, that at least until I die, I should be able to get the feelings back in my bowels so that I should be able to learn." I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Kid, ask for Shalema. Ask that you should be healed. Like, what are you doing?" "Just want to be able to learn. I'm in a diaper. I can't learn, Rabbi Wallerstien. I know what's going to be, but I just want to learn." I said, "Okay, Rabbi Galai, give him a bracha." Rabbi Galai started crying hysterically. I never saw the man cry hysterically when Moshe left. Okay. He Comes summertime, Camp Simcha. We're trying to get this kid to Camp Simcha, but he's so sick. No, I can't go. No, I can't go. Eli Rose, like we call him Superman. If it's tough, if it's hard, work hard. If it's impossible, work harder. That's where he comes from. Nothing's impossible. He takes the kid, he packs up his stuff, he puts it in the car, he picks the kid up out of his bed, he puts him into his car, he takes his wheelchair, he takes his medicine, he takes everything. He goes, I didn't ask you for going to Camp Simcha. We're going to Camp Simcha. And he drives him up to Camp Simcha. The rabbi this summer in Camp Simcha is Rabbi Itan Feiner. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's an amazing, amazing tzaddik, brilliant, brilliant mind. He's the Rav of the White Shul in the Five Towns. He's the Rav of Camp Simcha. He got up at the Levaya 2.5 weeks ago to speak in Muncie. He said, I want you all to know that Moshe, 2 days into camp, came rolling over in his wheelchair to me. And he said the following. Rabbi Fein, I have to ask you a shayla. I said, sure. He said, I know I'm in a diaper, and I don't know when I'm dirty, and I'm not allowed to learn. But am I allowed to think about Hashem? Is thinking about Hashem the same law as learning? So Rabbi Feiner said, what are you thinking about Hashem? He said, I'm thinking about how much I love Hashem, that He gave me 19 and a half years on this world to learn, to make brachos, to smell its flowers, to have Shabbos, to put on tefillin. Can I think about this? Or is it considered learning and I'm not allowed to? That was his question. I was like, when I heard that, I was like, Wallerstien, you're not even that big. So Rabbi Feiner said to him, as far as I know, halachically, it's learning. You want to think about Hashem, you can think about Hashem. The guy did wheelies in his wheelchair. I can think about Hashem, how much I love Hashem, Rabbi Feiner Paskin, I can think about Hashem. You'd think that they took him to Disneyland. I don't know what. That he got his legs back, that he was flying. Okay. A week and a half before he passed away, he's very, very sick. He not only liked to learn, but he loved to buy books, Svarim. So we used to take him to all the Svarim stores. That's what he loved. You put him in a Svarim store, he didn't have cancer anymore. He was like a healthy guy. There's one Svarim store that he was never in. It's in Israel, in Meir Sha'arim. It is the biggest Svarim store in Eretz Yisrael. And Eli Rowe knew that his dream was not to go to Disneyland, but his dream was to go to that Svarim store. And the kid's already in a semi-coma. Eli says, Zacharia, he must go to that Svarim store before he dies. He puts him on an El Al flight, takes 6 middle rows, they build a tent, they have 4 paramedics, 2 doctors, the stretcher, the whole thing. They get him to Eretz Yisrael, they get him to Yerushalayim, they get him into the Svarim store. He's in a wheelchair, he's pretty much, his head to the side, he's pretty much out of it. Eli says, Moshe, we're in the store. What store? In the Svarim store in Meir Sha'arim. He picks up his eyes, he said, Zacharia, he like Tchias HaMesim. He said, could you wheel me up and down all the rows? I just want to touch all the Svarim. I just want to feel them. You hear this? I just want to feel them. I can't learn them, I just want to feel them. So he wheels him up and down all the rows of this Svarim store, and he's feeling all the Svarim. And then he's out. They take him back on the way to the Lud. They stop by Rav Chaim Kanievsky, Karl Hadar. They wheel him into Rav Chaim Kanievsky to get a bracha. He's very, very sick. And he wakes up. And Rav Chaim's sitting there, he leans to hear what Moshe says to Rav Chaim. You're the Gadol Hadar. You're the Gadol Hadar. You're the only one in the world that can paskin. I don't have much more time. I need to finish Masechtas Makos. You're the only one that can paskin halacha, that even though I'm in a diaper and I don't know if I'm dirty, that I could learn. Could you please find me a heter that I could learn, at least until I leave this world? Rav Chaim Kanievsky says, I am the Gadol Hadar. Now he never talks like that. But he tried to make a point to Moshe. I am the Gadol Hadar, and I am paskening la halacha that Moshe Jervel can learn Torah even when he's dirty, for sure. Moshe was like, that's a psak? Yes. Okay. Eli, give me back my Gemara. And he died a week and a half later. Or even less, 9 days later. passed away. When they took his body to Eretz Yisrael, the Gabbai, Rav Chaim Kanievsky, said, I want to speak. Well, like, why should we let you speak? What do you have to do with Moshe Jervel? He goes, I have to tell you what happened after Moshe Jervel left. Okay, let's hear. He gets up at the Levi, he says, after they took him out, I went over to the Rav, Rav Chaim Kanievsky, I said, he's the Gabbai, he said, Rav Chaim, it's very nice, emotionally you felt bad for this boy, but halacha, Jewish law, is not emotional. The Rav knows that you not even think about when you feel you have to go to the bathroom, you can't learn. How could you pass in the halacha to this boy that he's allowed to learn even when he's dirty? With all respect to the Shishiva, the halacha is wrong. So Rav Chaim Kanievsky said, Moshe Jervel, the reason you're not allowed to learn when you have to go to the bathroom is because it's a bizoy l'Torah, it's a disgrace for the Torah. Moshe Jervel dirty, learning Torah is the biggest covet, the biggest honor that the Torah can have. I have no problem with what I passed. Wow. So why am I telling you this story? That's Judaism. Every second of your life, till the last second, you're connected to God. Only by us. Nobody else has that. Moshe Jervel understood that. I need to be connected. I need the rabbi to paskin that I can connect, even this sick. I need to be connected. You got to paskin. But Chaim understood that. He knows what Judaism is. That's what we have, everyone in this room, that nobody else has. And we should be jumping up and down and screaming to the whole world, I got something you don't got. I am always connected 613 ways. That I can cover my hair, that I can be dressed serious, that I don't listen to all that garbage music, that I'm a Beis Yaakov girl, whatever I am, that I daven, that I say Tehillim. I'm connected in a million different ways. Oh my gosh, God loves me. He wants to be with me all the time. Wow. Now what's happening? We're walking around. Oil this year went up $20 in the menorah. Matzah is out of hand. You should be shaking when you eat a matzah. If it's $40. To connect to God, $40? It's cheaper than your Verizon plan. We're totally off the wall. So am I going to change the world? No. Am I going to change the school system? No. Because the first thing that will happen if we open up a school that has no marks on the Judaic side is you're going to say, my kid's not going there. That's for dummies. All the stupid kids are going to go there. Because Wallerstien probably didn't do well in school. I get that all the time. I know what you're thinking. If he was an Aleph student, he would never come up with this concept of not marking Hebrew. Probably got a dalet in Gemara. Big deal. So I got an F in everything. I told my father Stitch was fantastic. It's how you look at things. So I got a U in conduct. Unbelievable. I told my father, they circled it because Superman was unbelievable. He also had a big circle. It's not a bad mark, it's a good mark. Yeah, it didn't work. I tried. The hamster one went much better. We got to bring that back to ourselves first, because you can't give it over to anybody unless you own it first. To realize that you're a Jewish woman, you're the closest thing to Hashem. You're closer than me. You make a bracha, I can't make. I make that bracha, it's a bracha l'atala. Every morning you get up and you say, Shasani kirtzainai. God, I am your will. If I say, God, I'm your will, it's a bracha l'atala. A woman is much closer to God than a man ever will be. Any share, ask anybody. You don't have to learn Torah and you don't have to do 613 business because you don't need to, because you are creators and you are nurturers and you are protectors. And men aren't. Men are hunters. And Hashem said, I'm a nurturer and I'm a creator. And a woman is a nurturer and a woman is a creator. And she just wants to have one husband. She doesn't want 5 husbands. She wants one. Don't you mess with my husband and my kids. We know in PTA, if the mother comes, give a good report. If you're going to say something bad, she's going to say, all the women say the same thing to me when I say something bad about their kid. So you think it's my kid, huh? You don't know how to teach. Why did you put her next to her? She's the one that's taking my kid down. Women protect what they have. Don't mess. mama bears. Don't mess. They're much closer to Hashem. Amen. That's why you get to make that bracha. And all the women are like, no, it's a male chauvinist religion. We want to say Shalom Asani Ish. You guys say Shalom Asani Isha. We want to get you back. You gave us a wimpy bracha. Asani Kitsono. Ooh. Just the opposite. Asani Kitsono is the biggest bracha that you can make. You are you are the will of God. That's much bigger. Why do I say Shalom Asani Isha? Because I have to thank Hashem that I can put on tefillin and I can put on tzitzis. If I'm a man already, so you didn't make me a woman, so I'm not your will, but at least I have tefillin and I have tzitzis and I have mitzvahs that a woman doesn't have. But Asani Kitsono, the Zacharia says, a woman, much higher. She's the Pak Shemen of Hashem, he calls it. Whatever, I don't want to get into the whole thing. A much higher level, that's why you're much more emotional. Emotion is neshama. That's why women are created much more emotional, because they're much more neshama. There's no shiloh. Rav Shlomo says, you daven more putting your kid on the bus than I do a whole shachris. You put the kid on the bus, you're like, I hope nobody starts up with her. I hope she doesn't catch a cold. Yesterday she didn't finish her lunch. I can't understand why. Why'd you give her sardines? Who would eat sardines? Hello? If I was a kid, I wouldn't eat sardines either. What are you trying to figure out? I hope today she finishes her lunch, and I hope Yaakov does good on his test, and I hope my husband, he gets that order, and I hope nobody comes home with the flu. I heard the flu's going around the school, and you're mumbling the whole time as you put each kid on the bus. You're davening, the whole day you're davening, and I hope my friend gets pregnant, and I hope this one gets a shidduch, and a whole day you're davening. We're in, fill it on, turn it off, out. You guys are davening day and night. He says, that's why you're not machayev in tefillah. You're davening all day. Hashem doesn't have to tell you to daven. Women daven. Maybe not out of a book, but they daven. They know what it means to express their emotions. Men don't. Okay, I'll leave you with this because I left you such a serious story with Moshe. You gotta go home in a good mood, or the men are gonna be like, we're not coming to his share. This happened to one of my talmidim. These are men. So, the big thing by a guy is not getting engaged, it's the proposal. So we work on 4 weeks before, we don't even know what the girl's going to say, but we work on the whole proposal. So we got to outdo the other guy's proposal. So we come up with things like, a blimp going by, my hockey game. That's just really old, nobody does it. And this guy, he's a genius, he came up with this great idea. And this girl wasn't really fair. She went downstairs to get her coat, to go on the date, and she saw the door was open, and she saw in the room downstairs there were cakes and fruit. It's already cut up. And she said, there's a l'chaim tonight. My parents are already prepared. So he's proposing, but I'm going to make believe that I don't know anything. We never ruined this, right? So I'm there walking along the boardwalk, and he's like, oh my goodness, there's a candle in the middle of the sand. And she's like, I can't imagine why. And he's like, Moshe Rabbeinu, let's go see what's burning over there. Right? And she follows along. And they come to, she makes believe like, I can't imagine. And they walk up there, and there's a candle and a cake. Please don't get angry if the guy doesn't propose like this and say, Rabbi Wallerstien told me a story. How come you just did a fortune cookie? I opened it up and said, will you marry me? That's how you, or the one with the what's it called, with the soup with the letters in it, Tells the waiter, will you marry me? Yeah, with the letters, the alphabet letters, will you marry me? Give me a break. And then the waiter shook it a little bit, and she's like, what is that? What does it say over there? What's going on over here? So it doesn't always work, That's the thing I told my friend. No alphabet cereal, none of that stuff. It doesn't work. So here it is. It's amazing. There's 2 cups and a glass of grape juice, a bottle of grape juice, mostly champagne, a bottle of grape juice, and a cake. And he's like, I wonder who this is for. And she's like, I think we should leave because we're going to embarrass those people, whoever is there. It looks like someone might be proposing, and it's not us. We better get out of here. And he's like, no. You want to borrow this chair, do you? This has to be acted out. No. It's about us. And she's like, what? She's good. What? He says, I want to ask you something. I can't imagine. What? She's getting all emotional. She's getting all red-eyed. She's getting all teary. Here it comes, right? She's waiting for this a long time. She went out with 160 guys. She finally found the right guy. Look what he did. In the sand, which his friend set up, of course. You don't understand. It was his friend's idea, but she doesn't know that, right? Thank God, at least the friend's not proposing to him. Because today, guys are so not emotional that you might have him do it too. So he gets down on one knee, because 2 knees are bowing down. Let you do after you marry. Okay, anyway. So he gets down on one knee. So he gets down on one knee and he's like this. I don't have the right. He pulls out a Hallmark card and opens it up. You are the most wonderful thing in the whole world. I can't imagine living in a world without you. She's like, guess what? Candles out. Take me home. You're proposing to me from a Hallmark card? This guy is not for me. Once in a while, we have to propose to Hashem from our own words, not from the written word. The written word is very important and very powerful. Once in a while, Hashem wants to hear from you. Because Baruch Shema, we all say. Baruch Shema is huge. And it helps us to praise Hashem. But once in a while, He wants to hear from you. At the edge of your bed at night, before you go to sleep. Kosh Baruch Hu, I'm angry. Kosh Baruch Hu, I'm upset. Kosh Baruch Hu, I'm happy. Kosh Baruch Hu, I'm in pain. God, where are you when I need you? God, I see you. God, I feel you. Today was a lousy day. Tomorrow's a good day. Shosani Kutsono. Am I really your will? Did I act the right way last night? Am I saying a bracha vatala? Because I really am not your will. Once in a while, He doesn't want you reading. He wants to hear what you have to say. 24/7. He wants to be in contact with you. So even after Shacharis, He still wants to hear from you. Even when you finish Shacharis and you finish Mincha, He still wants to hear from you. He wants to hear when you're walking down the street, all of a sudden saying, oh my gosh, look at that sky, blue sky, white clouds. Who did He paint it for? Me. I'm excited. A flower store, Erev Shabbos. All these flowers at Flatbush. My wife doesn't know this because she would never look at me. What I did 2 weeks ago in Flatbush. I walk into this flower store. I buy the flowers. I'm very into flowers. My whole school, like 30 girls who are from the street, every Friday, I give each one of them a rose to take home to their mother for Shabbos because they're so disconnected from their parents and from Shabbos. So I give them a flower and say, take this rose home. And every week I buy them a different rose. I got in trouble the first week. They posted on Facebook, Wallerstien gave me a rose. So since then, I don't do that anymore. I give the roses to the secretary. I'm like, girls, I bought them, she didn't, but she's giving them to you. And it's beautiful. I have beautiful stories where, like, sometimes they're extra. I buy 3 dozen. There's only 24 girls show up, whatever. So they're extra. So they take some extra flowers, and they're walking down the street, and some lady says, "Oh, did you buy them for me as a joke?" And the girl's like, "You could have one." And they're like, "Wow, that's so nice from a Jewish girl to get a flower. Thank you. Why do you have these flowers?" "For Sabbath." "Wow, Sabbath must be special." Such a kiddush Hashem. For a flower, $2. Why don't we give all our 12th graders and 8th graders in our schools a flower to take home to mommy for Shabbos? What's going to cost the school? $30? Subject. Shabbos is a subject. We don't give them flowers. Why don't we have Hilchos Shabbos in a kitchen where we teach girls how to make food for Shabbos, special desserts, where they're learning all the malachas in a special Shabbos kitchen the size of this room in school. We got gyms, we got labs, we got what is the Shabbos kitchen? So the kitchen, just think, is halachas. It's more than halachas. It's life. So once in a while, talk to Hashem, one-on-one. Tell him how you feel, good, bad, in between, whatever it is. And you'll understand that Judaism is something nobody else has. Something to be proud of, something that's special. Chanuka, we're going to light a menorah, we're going to tell Hashem, we're going to show the world that we didn't just settle for second best, we didn't use oil that was tamei, even though tumah hotra b'tzibur. We looked, we searched, we searched till we found something pure. Because somebody you love, you want to give them the best diamond. Perfect. All the facets are perfect. Everything is perfect. We said, we could use the tamei, halachically, we could use the tamei, but I love Hashem. We love Hashem. We want to find a pure can of oil. Hashem said, you looked, you searched, you tried, that can of oil is pure, I'm going to make it last for 8 days. Hashem said, put that in the window, show all the people in the world how much you love me. And that's what we do. But what do we do? Not the Goyim. We put it in the window for us, for the Jews to see, to remember that once upon a time, Judaism was looking, searching, working, cleaning, till you found something pure to give to the one that you love. That is Hanukkah. That is what we're going to have this week. Amazing. Stand by the Hanukkah menorah and talk to Hashem. It's the holiest time. The holiest time. Have your kids stand there. Stand together. When you light the menorah, it says, Shemayim opens up, the 36 secret hours open up, the Kedusha comes into this world. It is more Kaddish Chanukah than any other holiday. That's what's brought down in Kabbalah. And it's coming up. And you have it. And you need a shidduch, stand in front of those candles and daven to Hashem. You know why you need a shidduch, Hashem? Not because all the other girls are married. Because if I have a shidduch, and I'm going to have children, and I'm going to have a house, and you're going to live with me 24/7. My house is going to be your house. You'll find a shidduch real fast. And somebody needs Refuah Shlema, stand in front of those candles. I need Refuah Shlema so that I can dance in the street and say, Hashem, look what you painted for me today. Look at the sky. Look at these flowers. So I walked into this flower store in Flatbush, and there's like 4 women at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then look, they just woke up, it looked like. And they're in their snoods, they didn't put on their makeup, they're in a miserable mood. I don't know what happened. I think they just dropped their kids off at school and came to the flower store. And I'm this psyched up guy and buying flowers for my girls, which each flower is wrapped in, I'm all psyched up, and I'm looking in there, and they're like, yeah, that looks okay, I'll take that. I'm like, ladies! My wife doesn't know about this. I'm like, ladies, stop for a minute. And they're like, uh-oh, there's a Meshuggah in the store. Do you know that all these flowers, this is a Korean guy, he's got every flower, he's got black calla lilies. He's got crazy flowers. Crazy flowers. You have to try to figure out, is this guy normal? Okay, anyway, so I said, all these flowers in the store, Hashem created for me. The Korean guy's behind me. You want buy all flowers? I'm like, no. You sell your flowers, let me give the schmooze. Every flower in this store would have been created if there was only one human being. Because every single species of flowers was created for Adam. So there wouldn't be as many flowers in the world, but every different flower would still be in the world. And every different fruit and vegetable would still be in the world. And every animal and fish and everything that's in this world, if only you, just one of you in this room, was alive, it would be as many different flowers as there is right now. Which means that every flower and everything that was created in this world was created for you. Hello, it's time to get happy. It's time to get excited. And Hashem wants to be with you every minute. I'm still trying to figure out why. But that's what He wants. And that's what we need to take out of here tonight. We need to be proud, excited, invigorated that Hashem wants to be with us every moment. And if we show Him that, then He'll build a step-based image that we keep waiting for, so that we can live together with Him in the same house every moment. You should all have a schus, whatever you need, shidduchim, children, health. It says the best time to daven is during a shir. It said during a shir, the Shekhinah is there. It's the best time to daven. There's no question that my boy Moshe Jervel, because I spoke about him tonight, he's definitely in the room, and he's definitely smiling, because he's always smiling. And in his chus and his chus of everybody, Baruch should give you whatever you need, whatever anybody in this room needs. He should give it to you, Bakara, and we should see Mashiach. Amen.